huge no-no when you're in croc territory. Don't stand too close to the water's edge. This is the danger zone. And in fact, way back in the day, my dad actually used to jump in with the crocs to show you just how hard they hit. And Mum's not here today, so what do you reckon, guys? Should we jump in? Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, we'll give it a go. All right. So, now that I'm in Bluey's water, this is when he starts to get fired up. He's feeling these vibrations on the bottom of the pond, picking up on that, and it gets him really, really angry. But you can imagine if this is dark, murky water, he can sneak up without a ripple on the surface. It's an incredible technique that they use. Come on, Bluey. So he's setting up for that strike. Come on. Whoa, Bluey. Right up here, big boy. Right up here, big boy. Whoa. You weren't looking at the food. Alright, let's see if I can get him across that creek. Come on, Bluey. Alright, mate. You're right, we got time, we're fine. We're fine. Thank you, mate. What I'm going to do is try and set him up over here. I'm over here, mate. Yeah, he's on. Come on, mate. Alright. Come on. Right up here, big boy. Good boy, Bluey. Big round of applause for Bluey. What a legend. Holy smokes, that gets your heart going. Thank you. Alright, so we're going to go up here to the tail walk and show you another technique that crocs will use to grab an animal. What do you reckon, mate? Come here, boy. Come on, Bluey. Good boy. Now, they'll use this technique to grab birds, bats, anything overhanging the surface of the water. Good boy, Bluey. Now, we got here a nice little rat burger for him. Fresh from Crikey Cafe. Call them chicken burgers and they're absolutely delightful. Come on, Bluey. Come on, Bluey. Come on. Good boy. Good boy, Bluey. What a legend. Alright. So we'll give him a second here. Alright. Now, what I want to do here is try and show you guys, sort of dispel a bit of a myth about crocs. Now I'll show you the top speed for Bluey out on land and give you an idea why it's so easy to live alongside them. Good boy. Right up here, big boy. Good boy, Bluey. Good job, mate. So that just goes to show one of the fastest crocs in the entire zoo going at full speed. See, he's come out on land and he knows immediately that he's got to get back into the water. That's where he knows that he's quick. That's where he knows he means business. Out on land, he's a fish out of water. And that big tail, that big belly and those little legs means he just cannot run quickly. But that strike from the water's edge, as you've seen, and that strike vertically, is extremely explosive. So for 200 million years, crocodiles have been using this exact technique to catch their prey. And so I think that really means for us, it's pretty easy to live alongside them. Just don't go in the water and you'll really have no problem whatsoever. You know, it's definitely up to us people to learn to live alongside them and not the other way around. They've been here well before we have. So you gotta have a lot of respect for him. Isn't he such a cool crocodile? I love him so much. He doesn't love me very much. Well, got an idea. I reckon at this point in the show, Bluey's had a few good strikes, but let's see if we can replicate that more natural behaviour and see if we can show you what a croc would do with a large food item. What do you reckon, Bluey? You keen? What do you reckon? Alright, let's see if we can get this death roll going. Thanks, mate. Alright, now I'm going to have Nick tell you about this, because it's pretty hectic.
Well, so you can imagine Robert's really trying to simulate what we would hope from a crocodile out in the wild. Now he's waiting for an animal, death roll, we're waiting for an animal to come down to the water's edge, make that ultimate mistake, put his head in the water, or put a head shake. This is awesome for Bluey. That's 2 death rolls. Now he's trying to overcome that animal with force. Bring it off its legs, death roll it, bring it down to the bottom of the water. 4 death rolls. Oh, 5 death rolls. Oh, nearly. Now this is incredibly stimulating for Bluey. It's something that we just love giving the crocodiles here at the zoo. It's definitely going to make them pretty tired. It's about 6 death rolls and lost count, to be honest. My boy, little boy, you happy, mate?
Yep. Gonna do another one? Alright, Bluey. Good job, mate. Big hand for Bluey, eh? Crikey, that gets hard. Holy smokes. So, as you can see now that Bluey has that big food item, he's got to juggle it down. He's got no ability to chew, so he's actually got to juggle it down, get it in the right spot, and then swallow it whole. Now, this is not a safe place for you guys. We might be seeing some really nice natural behaviour here. Where's that? What do you reckon? Oh, bin chicken. That looks pretty good. Good boy, Bluey. Isn't it awesome to be able to see crocodiles in their full glory? This is why Dad designed the Crocoseum, so you could see completely innate natural behaviour and see these crocs just have the time of their lives. They absolutely love it. So good for them, and so good to be able to teach you guys how to live alongside it. It is just awesome. Well, you wore me out, Bluey. You did pretty good. Good job, mate. Now, the biggest message that I can stress for all of you guys to protect crocs is to simply not buy wildlife products. Unfortunately, here in Australia and all over the world, crocs are still killed in the horrible practice of croc farming, and unfortunately, even though their numbers are finally at that healthy level, they're still under threat. So it's up to us people to really try to educate ourselves and have a lot of respect for these guys. Don't eat crocs, don't wear them, just love them. Alright, well, Bluey, I think that just about wraps it up. Thanks so much for being here today, but I reckon there's one thing left to do to get Bluey home. Watch this. Don't panic, guys, the water is heated. It's a beautiful 30 degrees in there, so while Robert is being chased by a croc, at least he won't catch a cold. Now you can see he's at the surface of the water here. He knows that Robert can see him. He's not a huge threat. It's not until he submerges in the water that he becomes that unseen predator, just like that. So you can see he's really putting it on now. Robert, you might actually want to swim away. And guys, if you turn your attention to the big screen, we'll hopefully see Robert come out of that canal